Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Spence.
Good morning.
Good morning. And Nick is here.
Top of the morning to you.
Very top.
Yeah, very top. Tippity top.
Tippity top. And Gal is probably going to join us shortly. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And today's show is made possible by vMix Software, Telestream's Wirecast software, and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So, another week gone by.
Yep.
Another contender in TikTok.
Oh, I heard Oracle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think, is Larry Ellison still actively involved?
I don't think so. I haven't seen his name at all mentioned. But I mean, what does Oracle want with something like, I don't know. I guess they're trying to diversify.
They're still, from what I know, they don't get a lot of attention, but they're still doing pretty well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. It was just interesting that Oracle. I guess if the price is right, anybody would buy it. Hey, we can take our change, put it on the table, and get in the bidding.
Wait, let me go look in the couch. I might have some more change. We can come up with enough money to buy in. When I was getting ready for the specials this morning, I was kind of cheating today. I was depending on just finding stuff that was already out there. Because I have to leave shortly after the specials, but I was at sites I don't normally go to, like the New York Times, the Washington Post, because they actually had articles related to what I was going to talk about. And I was just kind of shocked at the spin. Go in and talk about technology, and they can spin technology to be anti this and anti that so easily. And it's such a stretch to see it happen. But you can look at any company, and they can figure out a way to make them either look good or look bad with no evidence. So it's interesting.
No. Arnie Carl is asking, do you know what a Maidenhead grid is?
I know where Maidenhead in the UK is. Been there many, many times. That was the headquarters for Synoptics, Bay Networks, and then Nortel in the UK. It's about 30 miles west of London is Maidenhead.
Maidenhead grid.
Yeah, that's their electrical grid in Maidenhead.
So what is it, Arnie?
You have to look it up.
It's probably some boat grid, a maiden, right?
That can also be, yeah. That's what they put on the front. That's right.
Boating thing. It's probably a map.
Oh. So what kind of, I can't wait. What kind of specials came out of New York Times?
Oh, it was just a guide.
It's got to be fake stuff.
No, it was actually useful. Oh, Maidenhead grid is an amateur radio square locator.
Oh.
So Interesting. But what I was looking for was, especially this last few weeks, with helping my daughter set up their Zoom strategy for their dance studio, and now hearing from all the parents and teachers who have gone back to school, and the turmoil of people still talking about, all of a sudden it's a big story again. I can't find a laptop. I can't find a webcam. Well, this stuff hasn't gone away. It's been this way since March, really, when lockdown started. People started working from home. Only now you're just adding all the school district requirements. There was a story in the local news where a school district was asking for used laptops. And they basically were saying anything that has a working camera, working sound card, and some other minimum requirements, we want it because we ordered computers and we're not going to get them till probably late this year, early next year. They ordered something like 30,000 laptops. And how the market is again in turmoil. So what I was looking for today was what tools can parents get? And the problem is, there's just not a lot out there. You just have to stumble across a deal or find something as a one-off. But there was some decent guides for parents on locating hardware. Also, I found really hard to find there's a great guide. What are the minimum requirements for Zoom, to use Zoom? Out there, find it, no problem. Just do a Google search. What are the minimum requirements for Google Classroom? I still haven't found a page that says, here's the hardware you need to run Google Classroom in your house. I didn't find that list because there's little bits and pieces you can pick up in different places. There's lots of guides for administrators to set it up, and for teachers for how to use it, and for students, how to raise your hand, how to talk. But there was nothing that I could find really good out there for, here's the minimum hardware requirements to run this and what the bandwidth requirements are. But I did find, like I said, I did find some good guides to say, a school needs this much minimum bandwidth. A home needs at least 1.5 megabits down for this stuff to work.
And nobody watching TV, and nobody watching videos.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
So,
well, so what did you? So you couldn't find anything that?
No, I found some stuff, but that's why I was said before. Here I am looking for information about how do you set up a classroom, and 2 or 3 of the articles became very political. Like, just stop. Cover the issue. Don't feel like you have to go in and find a way to make your political point.
So there is no requirements, quote unquote, list for Google Classroom.
I wouldn't say that. It's out there, but you have to go and find bits and pieces of it.
Then that's not a page.
Here is what the student needs to do. School. I couldn't find that. To say here, to prepare for Google, there are some other companies that are helping augment it, that have suggestions for how to enhance the actual system. But there's no one, I couldn't find it. It might be there, and I did spend some time looking.
That's a shame. Especially when school is starting. And
isn't it relatively new, though?
It is relatively new, but what does it
Google Classroom is not new. It's been out. I used Google Classroom when I was in high school.
Wow. Yeah, and what is it? What is it for Google to have somebody write down?
But there's no video portion of Google Classroom, just a website. So, right?
I don't know. I've no. So just a website. So you just use a browser to get to.
From what I understand, unless it's changed, yeah.
Oh, then in that case, any laptop would work.
So there's no client?
No, not there may be now. There wasn't in the past. I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll spend more time on it poking
Good
around.
morning.
But I just morning,
Hey,
Gal.
Gal.
Morning, Gal.
There's no client. Google rarely builds a native client for anything. So
But they have plugins.
plugins, yeah.
Hangouts have plugins, right?
Well, not necessarily. Hangouts works out of the box in any browser today, and they started doing that with
Meet.
Chrome, right?
Oh.
They just forced the standard through Chrome when Internet Explorer, for example, would require add-ons or plugins or whatever. Today, HTML5 provides everything that is required by these applications, right? So no plugins is needed.
That'll make things a lot easier.
Yeah, but that's the state like for years now, for like four or 5 years now. It's not like a new situation. I'm guessing the classroom situation specifically because of the need of video. I mean, when Google provided the classroom solution, video wasn't part of it, right? Because you either host a pre-recorded video, and that's YouTube doing most of the work, or you do it. You're in class, right? You just need some papers shared and stuff like that. Now with the video, they have Google Meet, and they probably have some bad integration because that's new.
Nick, when you were using it in high school, was there a video component to it?
No, it was just like a message board where you could get your
notes, kind of like
assignments and things like that.
Interesting.
They just started adopting it, like when I became a senior.
That makes it harder for the teacher too.
What do you mean?
To have video. I mean, teacher can.
Oh,
well, I mean,
makes
it's almost like the teacher has to be in front of it the whole time. Well, if it's just.
Well, damn straight, they're getting paid to be in front of it the whole time.
I know.
Kids, yeah, absolutely, they should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think there's somebody complaining about that.
Complaining? No. They'll end up without a job. Yeah. So that means that I would say up to 5 years old laptops will work.
A Chromebook will work.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
A $200 machine, brand new.
But you can find them.
Will work.
But you can find them. They're
right now. There's the shortage of.
Yeah.
I think we're after this. We're still hard to find.
I was talking to the Chromebook lady at Best Buy, and she said that their most popular model for classroom use and home use was on back order. He said they
because
come
of
in
the back to school and the pandemic and
all that together. Yeah, she had some that were available, but they were really the very low end. She was pushing the one that she recommended was one that went for like $400.
Why not use the low end if it's just the browser that you need? I mean,
maybe there are other things you'd want to be able to do with it. I don't know. I didn't. I was there for other reasons, and I just happened to be waiting. Yeah. So I was just wandering past their kiosk and was asking questions about Chromebooks.
I mean, it's a situation where schools don't have them. I mean, it was on the news again and again that schools are saying that they did not get their shipment of laptops, like you said. And that's that. What do you do? I mean, come on. You start the new year, the school year. Everything is online, but not all your students have the equipment to. What do you do?
Well, this has been so poorly managed from the start. I have heard from all of these teachers. We don't have a plan. What do you think? An asteroid's just going to crash through your house and give you guys a plan? I mean, Jesus, that's not been a solution.
That's happening on November 2nd.
Yeah,
I mean, having an asteroid crash solves your plan because you don't need a plan anymore. Like
every other business has had to adapt and find a plan over 6 months, and I'm supposed to believe that schooling can't? No, that's bullshit. It's just it's ridiculous. I mean, it's like every business has had to adapt has had to adapt and had to do it instantly.
Do you remember
the school system has had 6 months of essentially being closed to come up with a plan, and now they're running around like chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
A couple of weeks ago, I had in the specials Sweet Meteor of Death,
Yes.
Well, it's funny because now there's a story this past week saying that of all the things that could impact our elections, right? Guess what's going to do a very close flyby to the
Halley's
Earth right
Comet.
around election day is an asteroid that could
Nice.
hit us.
Another one.
I hope so.
But thankfully, it's only a 2-meter diameter asteroid, and the chances of impact are 1%. So even if the 1%, even if the 1%, yeah, but so even if we get to that 1%, right, the damage isn't going to be that big. So thankfully, it's not Armageddon.
Can we steer it in so we can have it go to a specific place?
Yeah, Wilmington, Delaware.
Do you remember, what was it, 2016? The Russian, the asteroid in Russia that got so much footage because of the dash cams.
Dash cams, yes.
Yeah, that was an amazing visual. It's like
didn't that break windows in certain places?
Probably, yeah. I mean, it was really close to a settlement, right? So
yeah.
I mean, a 2-meter rock like this it's it's a serious.
Depends on what it's made of.
But once it starts getting closer to the atmosphere, it starts to break up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so
still,
the amount of debris isn't huge compared to others, right? It's that they compared it to something that already fell to the earth, and the artifacts were the biggest one were this size, right? So
there's a place, I think it's in Russia or in somewhere in the Siberia, something like that, where there's a open field. I was watching a show on meteorite hunters, and this place you go to, you just walk across, it might be ice, and you just find meteorites laying everywhere, little tiny ones. But they said it just happened that there was a big fireball that broke up into thousands and thousands of small pieces. And I don't know how long ago it happened, but if you find the right spot, you just walk around, just pick the stuff up. And the guy says, well, this one's worth $200 and this one's worth $400, depending on what the composition is and how big it is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Amnon, did you go to the Museum of Natural History in New York when you lived there?
No.
No,
I was not. I'm not the museum.
They have one of the best meteorite collections in the world in the planetarium, where you can walk through and it's like the size of a Volkswagen Beetle, and other ones that are small that you can touch. And it's really a fascinating place. But meteorites apparently are big money.
Oh, I mean, you can take a rock from the backyard and, hey, I've got a meteorite.
Well, the guys who do this stuff for a living, they can tell instantly if it's an actual meteorite.
Only if you pay them enough.
What would you like it to be? This is a piece of Mars. I don't think they say they can identify, well, this is a piece of Mars or this is a piece of the moon because of an impact from millions of years ago. It's like, really? Does it have a serial number on it or something?
So going back to this conversation, though, I do think it's interesting that without getting too political with it, that schools somehow have this unwinnable situation. Am I the only one? Like literally every business over the last 6 months has had to drastically adapt their workforce,
and they did
tens of millions of employees did it, and the school system public school system has had 6 months to plan. They've been closed.
I can only,
and now it's starting up, and now it's a disaster. That really frustrates me.
I tell you what.
Well, it is a huge system, and it doesn't make any money, right? So it's not like it had funds to do it. But I'm also guessing that you're saying they had 6 months to plan it. If you look at how the government is communicating with the people in general, right? It doesn't seem that anybody in the government sat down and said, what are we going to do 6 months from now? Because they're always looking 1 or 2 weeks forward.
I tell you what.
That's it.
I tell you what. I see a whole different reason. There was never a decision 6 months ago, even 2 months ago, that they're going to go online. It was, well,
Yes, there
maybe
was.
we'll open, maybe we won't. Maybe we'll open, maybe we won't.
Exactly.
It's district by district. I mean, there's thousands of school districts across the United States. So,
but now
they're all independently operated and managed. They're not run by the state.
Understand? I am not justifying it. I'm just saying that could be one reason. But
it's crappy leadership.
You have to come up with plan B. Yeah. Okay, well, maybe we'll open, but maybe we won't.
That's my point. Is that it seems like for 6 months they've been twiddling their thumbs and expecting a plan to just fall. Expecting a plan to just fall from the sky with their solution, and that just frustrates me because my business, the business I work for, we had to adapt. We had customers, hundreds of customers that we had to shift things around for to adapt their workflow.
Right,
and it just frustrates me when I see a business that's been essentially closed. And now is crying, "Woe is me! Look at all these problems." It
wasn't
ridiculous.
rocket science, was it, Nick?
No, and guess what? It took a lot of work. There was some cost involved in it. We were busting our ass. The guys on our team were busting our ass to get things done. All right, we need this by Monday. We need this by Monday. It was hard work, but we got it done. Bitching and complaining was never a solution, and that's what I seem to be hearing from the public school system now, especially. I mean, I'll just speak here just in what I've been reading here in New Hanover County. It's just frustrating. I mean, we live in such a world of available information and technology and bandwidth and broadband internet, and it's a lame ass excuse. Literally every business has had to adapt. Every company, everybody. And the public school system, it couldn't. That just speaks volumes about the school system.
I understand Gal's point, though, because here they were thinking, oh, we're going to be going back by this date. Oh, no. Oh, we're going to be going back by this date. Oh, no. And so the natural thing is to sit back and wait and see.
Well, no. But
then you're shitty at operating your business because that's not how you
they're not a business. And
they are a business.
Yeah.
They are a business. They absolutely they get money.
They fall back on not being a business.
They get money based on how many students they have enrolled in going to their school, and it is articulated in that way. They are absolutely a business. Their money follows the students. There is a goal for them to be better than their other schools because money follows the students. They absolutely are a business, just like prisons.
And especially,
I think they should be held accountable that way. But I don't think that's how they operate.
Yeah, but that's how it works. I mean, school gets. If I go to New Hanover High School, the school gets X amount of thousands of dollars for the year for me being a student there. That's how it works. That is the definition of a business. They're not just giving a blank
Have
checkbook.
you heard the story? There was some mutterings out there online about how there was teachers unions and school districts were saying, people were mumbling under their breath, oh, we really don't want parents seeing what we're teaching the kids.
There's waivers that you have to sign here.
Now that's the first time now there's a school district that actually has a waiver that you're supposed to sign. If you want to be part of the online curriculum, you can't monitor what your kids are being taught.
Yep. What? Yep. The waiver, they're doing the waiver down here. Yep.
Jeez.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Their teachers union, one of the planks of the teachers union lobbying was to say that no one can monitor we don't want people to monitor our education.
Yeah, we don't want to see.
We don't want them to see what we're teaching their kids.
Yeah, we don't want you to see us teaching about
transvestites.
That's
not all teachers. These are the organized.
Yeah,
who decide.
But what about me as a parent wanting to audit a class? I can.
You can't. You have to. If you want the that's
no.
What
I mean in physical class. Oh. I can I can go to the headmaster or whatever student services, get an approval for a date specifically, and I can sit in a class.
Sure.
So what's the big deal?
It depends on the school district.
I guess when you are doing it at home and you can do it every day, you have a big picture. If you just go one day, you are not going to get a
hold the flag against it and show that you have good education. Don't hide it.
Right.
Stupid ass.
It is.
Sorry, that bothered me.
It is stupid.
Yeah.
It's very stupid.
Well, everything becomes political, right? So that It's the problem is
but
that they're concerned that, well, look at what comes out of our universities now, where parents send their kids off to school. If they've never had a kid in college, when the first time their kid comes back from college, they're like, what happened to you? Because they're being taught a certain way. And if it's not in alignment with the way the parents taught the kid, they're kind of shocked when the kid comes home and this cause and that cause. And I saw it. I mean, I had 3 kids go to college, and you could see the impact that was on them when they came home, when they're being exposed to all these different ideas. And so in some ways, the thinking is, well, we don't want to let the cat out of the bag, that we're actually molding these kids the way we think they should be and not the way their parents think they should be. So it's not all teachers, it's not all universities, but it's prevalent enough out there that it's gotten attention.
But let's go back to the technical aspect of all this. I mean, they did not adapt. And the way that I look at it, it's not the teachers that have to cause the engineering to adapt. Every school system has an IT department. It is the IT. What?
No.
What? No.
It's like you have probably 2 people handling an entire school system.
I don't know. I mean, Wake County is a huge.
Wake County is huge, and it does not have. It has a single IT department. That's the thing, right?
Well, that's okay.
It's not like each school has its own IT department.
No, not each school. Each school system.
Right.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, and
show me a single organization with one IT department. Even that one IT department is split to its offices, right?
Yeah, but the point is that that's their job, and they could sit there during that school off time and come up with a plan. It's not like
they can't.
Well, no. I'm saying it's not like
they can't. It's impossible. Every other business had to adapt, but the school system couldn't.
It's not like you had the teachers had to come up with their own plan and agree. It's that's
the school exactly
system.
What happened.
Well,
it's the administrators of the district. It starts with the superintendent, and that's where the decision is made. And it is obvious
and it's a slow system.
Yeah, I know. Because of course,
to come up with the solution.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Again, if it's operated like a business, it should be handled like a business.
It's not. That's the thing. It's not operating as a business. You probably want it to be operated as a business, but it's not. It's a very slow, bureaucratic, political, like internal politics, right? System that has very little funding, right? And so
very little funding.
No, they have good funding for
the public school system gets hundreds of billions of dollars a year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the system gets a lot of money. The teachers don't.
Yeah, exactly. The system does get a lot of money. It's just squandered.
Yeah.
Yep. But I think there's a valid point there that they do not have the mentality or the mindset of being, number one, necessarily highly accountable for the money that they get.
No, obviously, and that's what this is showing.
And that they don't really. And I'm not trying to defend them, but having worked with, putting my kids through public school and being an active parent that was involved in these things that happen and doing things at school that are unusual, like building a playground and doing things that are outside the normal box of responsibilities, you run into things where it's like, not my job. We don't do that here. We never thought of that, so we're never going to do it. So there are people that I'm sure that would fall back on the position like, hey, we're just going to sit this out and wait and see what happens.
Yeah, in the state of North Carolina, each school district gets $8,792 per student per year.
And look at
$9,000.
Are you familiar with the Thales Academy?
No.
It's not a charter school. It's a private school run by a man named Thales, who's a successful businessman, and has these schools all over the country. But there's 2 of them in Apex, and this school runs. You can and they have this new sign up recruiting private school education for $3,000 a year, and they run their schools very efficiently. They don't have a cafeteria. That saves them a bunch of money. but they do it for half the price. The teachers are paid better, and they do it for half the cost, and they get an exemplary education.
Did you say Thales?
Thales,
Yeah, I saw that on
Thales.
TV. I couldn't understand why are they.
Vice President Pence was here in Apex.
Yeah,
visiting this school.
Let me just tell you what I find frustrating. If this were to happen in 1980, right? Let's roll us back in time 40 years. It would be a colossal disaster. But it's happening in an era where there is so much information available. Everybody has high-speed internet. Everybody has access to technology.
Well, not everybody. Not everybody, okay. but yeah, the majority.
95% of the people have access to it.
Right. An argument that we can't is really old now because
it is, because it's just not accurate. That's the frustrating part to me. Again, if this were to happen in a situation in which that the stuff wasn't readily available, it would be a different story, but it is. And that's the frustrating part to me, is that, and it's not like the school systems had to develop a video conferencing system. They're using stuff that companies have already made. They're using Zoom. They're using Google. They don't have to develop anything. All they got to do is create a goddamn account.
Right.
It's not
absolutely.
It's not like they had to go out and spend $1 billion developing a video conferencing system. The teachers already have computers. All they had to do was sign up for a damn Zoom account, and they already use Google Classroom. I mean, it's not like we were asking them to reinvent the wheel.
Right.
That's the frustrating part to me. The systems already existed. They just had to figure out how to use them for their use case. And based on what I've seen, it appears obvious that they failed, at least here. Royally failed. And that's frustrating because the information is available, and it's so relatively low cost.
So let me take it back to the question that I asked. So what do we do with the 0.5% or even lower of kids that don't have the ability to get online to be at the school? You know, I mean, I'm not expecting an answer. I mean, but
I know in North Carolina, the YMCA is, at least the YMCAs that we work with up in Harnett County, they're doing
classes.
They're exactly. You can bring your kid to the YMCA, which has internet, and they can do classes there. I know daycares that are doing that as well. So I mean, it's not a
there are solutions. That's right.
Yeah, and I mean, there's I'm sure if you live in I don't know what it's like in really rural areas, but there's libraries and stuff that I'm sure have adapted and have changed that. But I know for a fact the YMCAs, all of the Harnett County YMCAs are doing that.
Yes, Spence, weren't you talking about your daughter's studio?
Yeah, the dance studio was going to offer a specific room so kids could do their online training at the facility on days they weren't required to go to school, to help the parents out because parents need to work. And so they would have a place where the kids could be safe during the day and have online access. They have to bring their own computer. They're not providing computers.
Oh,
but they are providing a connection. They're giving them a Wi-Fi connection.
I was asking after the debacle at UNC Chapel Hill with the partying and all that, when they said everybody's online, I asked my niece, who's an RA in one of the dorms, I said, so are you going to have to stay in the dorm or are you going to go home? And she said, no, there are some kids and they have to apply individually, some kids that don't have internet at home, or they don't have the ability to learn from home. They can ask to stay in the dorm. So she's going to stay. I mean, her job at the dorm is still there, because some kids going to college don't have the ability to do it. You can imagine about kids going to elementary school.
Amnon, I was not directly involved, but knew a person who worked for Nortel, who went on to work for the federal government in a role of rolling out high-speed broadband to rural areas in the state. Mm-hmm. This was 15 years ago. And they still have not covered everywhere adequately. with this massive amounts of federal money going into putting these communities, you pay, remember what was it, Bell South? On your phone bill, you used to pay a $2 or $3 a month tax to provide telephone service for areas that had bad coverage.
Right.
They've been trying to address this problem for years. It's kind of like the inner city promise: we'll fix this, we'll fix this, we'll fix this, and it doesn't get fixed. It's the same thing. They have the technology opportunity, they have the wireless technology that they could just leapfrog over this stuff, over these problems, and fix it, but it hasn't been fixed.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So this guy was trying to help coordinate the application of the funds that were being put out there to try to actually build out infrastructure, mainly fiber, because that's the big thing. You got to bring fiber in to provide the high-speed backbone to support these local services. And they try to go into these small rural communities and then bring it in. And once it got there, it sat there. Or if they could even, provide a facility to use it in. It was just, I know it's changed. Now with smartphones, you can have internet access. It might not be fast enough that you can do video streaming well, but you can do it now. So most people that didn't have, they have some opportunity, some way, a library or something to get to the internet services that they need. But it isn't close to, I think, adequate. In most
especially with wireless now. I mean, they don't have to go and dig. It takes
wireless
no time.
is a giant leapfrog. You can put in. Now I don't know what we're doing 5G wise. There's still a lot of pushback against 5G because of from a technology perspective, the overlap with other wireless, or from a health perspective, there are some concerns about health and exposure. So.
Well,
I can feel the 5G signals right now in my head. Wait a minute. I'm getting a message. Okay. It says don't talk about it anymore.
All right. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's been a week since they started school, right? Now,
Wake County had a problem first couple hours the first day.
They couldn't get internet.
They sorted it out. It started to work. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did have people to fix it.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the future. I mean, it's not going to be smooth sailing, I don't think, any way you look at it. But
no,
it's fine.
And there will be underserved areas. And a lot of it has to do with just past history, and it has to do with politics, and it has to do with just human nature. And you just can't get obsessed with being upset about it, because you won't get anywhere. You need to have a plan.
So
yeah, go ahead.
I bought a system this week. I bought a camera system. I got a Blink system, which is owned by Amazon. I got a sale at Best Buy. It was 3 cameras, the house node, and then an Amazon Echo Show or something like that. The Blink system's pretty neat. Super easy to set up. The cameras are 2 AA batteries. You connect the node to 5-volt micro USB, and it's all on the phone. And it's a pretty cool system.
Wait. This is for cameras outside?
Yeah.
How do you connect micro USB?
You connect micro USB to the hub. It's got a node that connects to your.
So the cameras are only there. It's not video. It's they taking shots whenever.
No, it is video
with 2
real-time video.
Yeah.
No, you're gonna have to change. You're gonna have to change the batteries daily.
No.
I don't know.
It only comes on when there's motion.
It's still uses.
Well, actually, Amnon, the Netgear product, and I can't remember which.
They advertise 2-year battery life. So
wow.
So let me see if I can share my screen.
That's interesting.
Can you enable screen sharing, Amnon?
Yes, if you tell me how to.
don't remember.
Let's see.
Hold on. I got it.
Somewhere at the top.
I got it. Have no fear. So what we'll do here.
I can.
So no, I got it. Don't worry.
Okay.
So unfortunately, the one downside of Blink is that it runs on the app only runs on a mobile device. So you can't the way I'm running it on my Windows computer here is I'm running it's called Nox Player, and it's an Android emulator, and I have that installed.
So is this a video shot now? If a car?
No, this is a still picture.
Okay.
If I went outside, I have the zone tagged. It would
take a snapshot of you.
It would send it. So, like, for example, some little bug thing flew in front of my camera last night at 4:00 in the morning, and it recorded that little still shot.
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm talking. Yeah. So it takes. Yeah. It's like those that you put out in the field when you
like a trail cam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, but it's cool. So I got 3 cameras. I've only set up 2 so far. I have to figure out where to put the third one. And again, there's a little hub, a little like hockey puck size hub that you plug into AC power, and then hook that up to Wi-Fi, and then the cameras go ahead and connect to the hub, and it's a pretty seamless process. The nice thing about it, there's no subscription. It's not like Simply Safe or one of the other ones where you pay for it. And since I'm already giving all my information to Amazon, I thought it made sense to tag this on. So because it is an Amazon company, but they're neat little cameras. They've got night vision. They've got 2-way communication to them, so you can talk and hear. There's sound on them. So that's
Nick,
cool.
that thing that set off your camera last night actually was one of those new bug drones, the size of a little bee, and landed on your camera to analyze your system.
Question: How does it let you know? Is it
a phone pop up on your push notification on your phone?
So during the day, it can be a nuisance.
Well, you can arm or disarm the system.
Right.
So right now I have it armed. So if I was to step outside my front door, it would start. Now, just like a regular security system, you can set a zone for it to notify motion on. So I don't have the road set up there.
Okay.
Does it do geocaching? Can it tell when you leave and come back? So to change the mode?
There might be. I haven't.
It's a pretty simple thing to do, because they just look at your smartphone. The system, the UMA system I have, has something. If both of us leave the house, it changes the mode, so that anytime it detects anything of note, I don't have the cameras doing. That's a separate system, but the alarm system I have from UMA, anytime a sensor triggers when I'm away, I get a text message, I get an email, and if it's severe enough, I can have it call me. I don't have monitoring. I don't pay for monitoring.
So I'm not.
So Nick,
I don't know if it does that. I'll have to.
Looks like.
But I'll just say,
it has Home Assistant integration, so you can do it with Home Assistant for sure.
But I work a regular 8 to 5, so I'm just going to set a regular schedule from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for it to be armed, which I'm hardly ever home for. I'll come home for lunch, but that is what it is.
So you got 3 cameras.
Mm-hmm.
System. How much did it cost?
Yep, $200.
Wow.
And it came with an Amazon Show, which I'm gonna sell because I don't want.
The show is so you can watch the video from the cameras, or it's just
show. Oh, actually,
I mean, is it?
This is the show.
Yeah,
it's the Amazon device with the screen on.
Right, but is it is it part of the system? Because
it was just a bundled item because it's an Amazon device.
Okay. And that's not cheap.
No, this is like $70.
Yeah,
new on Amazon. So I'm gonna throw this up on Facebook Marketplace and hopefully get rid of it. But yeah, pretty cool system. My parents got one back in December, and they've been pretty happy with it. And I was, of course, browsing Slick Deals, like I do, and saw that it was on sale. I actually bought it at Best Buy.
Nice.
So
what a pain.
What?
Now I have to think about something else.
What, you?
To get you, yeah.
See,
I have to have a DVR. I have to have, video whenever there's movement outside. I want to.
Yeah, and
it's different. Yeah.
Well, also, I will say you're in the habit of having that. I would say you don't actually need that, but that's the system that you want, and that's the system that you need to build around.
Good point.
Now, I don't have any. There's no. I live on a cul-de-sac, so there's not any through traffic at all. And I live in a pretty nice area, so I'm not super worried about it. But I do specifically have it because I know somebody's going to steal my goddamn Trump sign on the front yard. So when they do that, I need to be able to record it.
Nobody's driven over it yet?
No, surprise. I live in a cul-de-sac, so my my zone is quite limited.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. And this
how long did it take you to deploy it?
5 minutes.
Yeah, nice.
So the cool thing about it is you take the hub. All of it's got QR codes, which is how Amazon likes to do their device setup. So you just scan the QR codes and it just pulls the device right in and it connects to everything once you set up the hub.
Nice.
Which is cool. So here's the here's the system for the motion activation. You can set your zones.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, advanced. Whoa, you can get really far detailed with the advanced mode and do like subzones. That's pretty neat.
So that's to exclude or to include?
This is tap on the photo, select the zone.
I think that's
clear. Gray zones
included.
Gray zones are inactive.
Yeah,
so,
right. That's the way ours is. Yeah.
Yeah. So I need to.
Right.
Yeah. So you just go through and select all your different zones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So now it will not do anything.
No, it will. Gray zones are inactive zones. So now.
Oh no! So ours is the other way around.
Yeah.
The clear ones are the ones that you exclude.
So now I can come in here and select all these little blobs.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty
neat.
Pretty neat little system. Haven't done a whole lot with it yet, but yeah, if you're looking for something wireless and
the battery, so you leave the camera in place for 2 years, or?
Well, it says it's got 2-year. I mean, it'll give you a warning when it's connected to the internet. So it'll.
What
tell
kind
you
of
when the
battery?
battery's left.
Is it a
two AA's?
Oh, it's good.
And it came with the batteries. I mean, they're not my batteries.
Arnie is asking you to post the link.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the. I'll see if the deal I got is still active. Yeah, I mean, it's not. If you're looking for something crazy advanced, this isn't it. But for
I would say serves the purpose.
Yeah, and I would say for most people that just want to get an alert when there's some motion detected on a camera, this is with a completely wireless system with a little hockey puck hub is
probably. That sounds like it's quite a bit cheaper than the Netgear Arlo system, which was actually they were the first ones to really go mainstream with this idea of battery.
Yeah, and I do kind of use the Amazon A-word device as kind of my I'll say this for God, I do kind of use that as my home assistant. I've got all of my stuff pretty much running through that as of right now. My thermostats and my door and whatnot. So this kind of made sense since I'm using that for almost all of for all of my smart connected stuff, that this kind of made sense.
Nice. All right, Spence, I know you are going to need to leave after special, so you ready for the specials?
Yeah, I have it open here somewhere. Here we go. I do. And so, in looking for something to cover.
That's the wrong one.
Uh-oh, what? There we go.
There
Yeah, you got it. We could do last week's again if you want.
Yeah.
No problem. So it's been a big subject locally anyway, and on the news stories this week about parents still trying to scramble to find appropriate hardware and accessories for kids to work at home. And with so many of the schools providing at least a day or two of online training, my daughter-in-law is a teacher with Wake County Schools, and she's now working from home. I think she does actually go in occasionally, but the point is she's teaching 5 or 6 classes a day over the school system video to kids at home.
Mm-hmm.
So finding the hardware that you need has become a real issue. And I have to say that I was a little bit lazy today in that I went out and just did searches on hard to find and found some guides that were actually very useful. Some of it is very timely too. Some of it pretty up to date. Most of the stuff is from August, so it's not old news.
I'm wondering what Hillary is looking through the binoculars at.
You know, it occurred to me that it does actually look a little bit like her, but it's not Hillary. She's looking for why she didn't win the last election.
No.
She's still trying to figure it out.
All right.
But so hard to find stuff for parents. Not necessarily a definitive guide, but USA Today actually had a good series of pages of things out here. The technology side is what I paid attention to, and I included links that they provided for finding, for example, a good printer. Sometimes I scrub these links because they were third-party links to Staples, and that provided an extra level of crap that you didn't have to see. But finding a good printer for home has been a problem, and people are stuck with this decision. Do I go with a inkjet for color? Do I need color? Was monochrome laser better? And after reading through this, going with a business class inkjet or a entry-level laser seems to be the best choice. There's still some out there. Finding a multifunction machine that's got a scanner, printer, not necessarily fax or a copier is like essential. So people who have had the little bitty Canon $29 printer for all these years have had to pay attention now and upgrade. But there's a good list of stuff that's available at Staples. They do mention here in the article the Brother MFC J680DW, which is a really good printer. It's printer, scanner, fax copier. So it's got everything you need in it. And they make an important point here to say, don't forget the paper.
And the cartridges.
And the cartridges. Well, you with a starter cartridge, depending on the manufacturer, your starter cartridge will last a long time. If you're doing 10, 12 prints a day, you know, I would think that you're trying to avoid as much paper as possible. But paperless just means, in my mind, more paper, because you're still going to want it, even though you get everything. Oh, this is great. My invoice is paperless, but I still want to print a copy of it to put into my file. Because I'm one of those people that likes to have both a soft copy and a hard copy of certain things, especially if it's a warranty on a product that you may go back and look at, you know, a long-term warranty. And it's come in handy. I've used it. Okay. So there's a link there to Staples. Also, monitors it's been really hard to find a decent monitor And in my mind, you really don't need super high resolution. You can get an older model, a current model, but an older one, or one that doesn't necessarily have all the bells and whistles and refresh speed and so on, to have a spreadsheet or a Word document or something up there that, or unless you're into gaming, I don't know where refresh speed will really make a big difference in a home environment, but there's lots of good monitors out there, and they've got a link here to Best Buy to go check that stuff out. Laptops, this is such a gigantic open question. What's the best laptop? Well, the problem is the best laptop is the best one that you can find. It's not going to be the best one that you can decide on, because the market is insane.
And afford.
That's what?
And afford.
Yes, and afford. And so if you look hard, my daughter and I struggled for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, trying to decide what to go with and to find enough of the same machine. That becomes another question. If you're supporting a group of machines to do something, you want them to be the same.
Yeah.
You don't want to have, we looked at actually taking donations and putting the same software on them all, but having all different hardware. And I said, this just doesn't make sense. So we wound up finding a good deal at Staples. She had to go to 3 different Staples stores to buy them all, but they did have a couple in stock at every store. And she wound up buying an HP machine, which was actually quite good and had the latest. It wasn't 802.11. It was AC. It wasn't AD technology, but it was AC, which participates in the multiple streams, MIMO antennas, multiple in, multiple out. So it's a really good machine for streaming environments. Mm-hmm. And since they have a new 802.11 AC router also in this environment, where they have at least 5 Zoom sessions being hosted, not just monitoring, 5 to 6 different Zoom sessions going, originating at this location through that Wi-Fi and that network, it made a huge difference to have these new Wi-Fi technologies. There's something you got to pay attention to. I got a great deal on an i5 laptop, and you look back and it says 802.11n. It's not going to work good in a big mixed environment.
Yeah, but I mean, here we're talking about home schooling.
If it's one machine, yeah. 2 machines, it'll work fine.
Yeah.
If you don't have distance issues, but if you have a cluttered environment, if this is it's a dance studio where they have a waiting area for parents and kids where they provide Wi-Fi services so they can get on their phones and sit there and do whatever they're doing. So that it's all kinds of competing signals in the same environment. They don't have to be on the same network to have impact from other Wi-Fi. It just has to be in the same environment, because you're being bombarded with radio signals that your particular receiver is trying to sort out and just listen to the stuff it can hear. And it's just like Ethernet. Ethernet was a technology where there was no back off, or there was no built-in fairness to the networking. Ethernet, everybody tried to talk at the same time, and when they realized that too many people were talking, the voltage on the line would go up to the point where people say, "Oops, I'm stepping on somebody else," so they would back off. And as they backed off from talking, each NIC card, each adapter card would assign a different wait time. So hopefully the first person that started to talk would be able to talk. So that's the same thing is happening in the wireless environment. You're still fighting over bandwidth. And you don't have to be on the same network, because it's all out in the open air, or even on the same channel for there to be interference. So these are important, that you get something that's got the latest Wi-Fi technology you can find for the money. So, all right. This is a weird reference here. Desks and office chairs. And the link they provided here was to Wayfair. Anybody know who Wayfair is?
We talked about it last week.
Yeah, but I mean, for people who don't know, they do sell their own stuff, but they're like Amazon. They have other vendors there that actually sell under their umbrella. Mm-hmm. But it's a big furniture company. But they do have good deals on desk chairs and storage. So that link is provided here. Webcams. Everywhere I went to look at this morning, still shortages, and there's no end in sight to the shortages. They cannot build them fast enough. So whether they're tooling up to build more is a good question. But the one thing to mention is we're kind of Logitech bigots here because we have really good a really good experience with Logitech over the years. Most of us use Logitech cameras. But there are some really good knockoffs now. They look a lot like the 900 series from Logitech, and you can get them for $39 to $49 on Amazon. And we picked, and I apologize, I don't remember the brand exactly because the brand names of some of these are so nutty that it's hard to remember. But there was one in particular on Amazon that we bought one to test and decided it worked so well that we bought 8 of them for the studio to use with their computers. But there are ones out there that you can get in the sub $50 range that are actually quite good.
Yeah, but again, if you are at home online with school, and with the laptop, you have a camera built in probably.
Yeah, and it's okay. It'll work fine for that.
It's fine. I mean, you're not there to show, it's you don't, it's not for the video, your video out. It's for you to see what the teacher is showing.
But if you're trying to repurpose an older machine that has a subpar camera or no camera in it, you're going to need a camera.
Absolutely.
So here's a link in this to Best Buy to webcams.
Yeah.
So I continued here where it talks about the no end, the BBC article about no end to the webcam shortage. So you can go to that article. It's interesting. It's funny. It says overnight webcams went from mundane computer accessories to gold dust. And that is true. That is true. Okay, so this last page here is some good links to different, they called it the Pandemic Survival Edition for Back to School Guide. It was from the Washington Post, and it did a pretty good job. And I included the original link, but I also went and found some other links that were not covered in that link. Student Connection Guide from wideopenschools.org has a lot of good resources there for ideas, planning, how to set up an area in the house, what to think about, some information about technology, but a good starting place. So if you're thinking about, well, what am I going to do? If I don't have a lot of room at home, are there alternatives? What can I do with a small space? So good ideas there. Zoom requirements, very clearly stated. What is the hardware requirement for Zoom?
The minimum.
Right here. Minimum, yes, minimum. Dual core processor, I think it's 4 gig of memory, things like that. They don't get into much about video cards per se and cameras and so on.
Right, they shouldn't.
Because they pretty much work with everything.
Yeah.
So, which is good. Now, the closest thing I could find to a Google Classroom guide was something called bookwidgets.com, and they have a beginner's guide to Google Classroom, it's more than just talking about the technology itself. It's talking about how the classroom is organized, what do the teachers do, what do the administrators do, what do the students do, and how does it work. So I need to spend some more time on reading that because I'd like to understand it. And then there was a New York Times article on alternatives for laptops. If you really can't find anything out there, and this is pretty current, so August 18th, so it's just a week ago. We can't find a laptop. Here are some alternatives. They talk about repurposing machines. It talks about buying used machines, where to go to find good quality used machines. So there are some good points there. And finally, there was a pretty decent technical article. Now this is from April, but it's still relevant because back then is when, in April, when lockdowns went fully into place, was when people were starting to have a lot of trouble with their Wi-Fi at home. So this is a good tutorial on what's important with Wi-Fi and how to try to fix ideas for fixing bad Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? So again, some of it's pretty simple. Change the channel on your Wi-Fi router. Look to upgrade your router that has newer technology, and don't forget you need to upgrade the adapter on the device you're using. There are lots of USB-based newer Wi-Fi adapters that use the 802.11 AC standard, and good information there on how to fix bad Wi-Fi. Not really a specials, not really recommending any products today, but just a little help with dealing with the insanity. And
Yep.
that's it.
Thanks, Spence.
And I'm out of here.
All right, Spence.
I'm going to my son and I are experimenting with a poor man's sawmill. How to take take logs basically and turn them into rough boards. So that's the plan for today. I'm going over to help him sort through this interesting thing that he purchased. So, all right, everybody, have a good week.
You too.
Stay safe,
You too.
and we'll see you next week.
Yep.
All right. See ya.
All right, Spence.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.
All right. So, what else? Before I start reading. All right. So, the security research team at Comparitech disclosed how an unsecured database left almost, you ready for that? 235 million Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube user profiles exposed online in what can only be described as a massive data leak.
What's the name of the company?
Comparitech. Comparitech.
Okay.
They are a research. They're not the ones that the ones that found it.
Okay.
The data was spread across several data sets, the most significant being two coming in just under 100 million each and containing profile records apparently scraped from Instagram. The third largest was a data set of some 42 million TikTok users, followed by just under 4 million YouTube user profiles.
I'm not clear. So I understand the massive dump. I'm not clear about what content it contains. If it's only publicly available data from the social media sites,
it had usernames, addresses, phone numbers, passwords. I mean, combined.
Password.
Yeah.
Okay.
Everything. I mean, they have where they were, like the geo location. And I mean, I did not print all this information. Yeah. It was a whole paragraph of what details were leaked. It's amazing.
Yep.
So so it's not just username and where they are or something like that. They say that this is a real treasure for spammers because they can actually target some of these people according to what they do and how they do it and when they do it and all that. I mean,
I think that's the part that's mind blowing to me. That still the largest benefiters of these breaches, right,
are spammers.
Are not necessarily criminals, right? There to steal your money, but spammers.
Yep.
Spammers are the root of all evil.
But any way you look at it, it's bad.
Oh, it's totally bad.
Yeah. Let's see what else we have here.
I have something.
Oh, go for it.
Yeah, I just remember. It just took me time. So, in less than 2 weeks, Disney is going to release a huge production of theirs that was supposed to be like a mega blockbuster in the box office, they're going to release it via Disney Plus, but for a premium. So Disney Plus subscribers could
upgrade,
buy the streaming rights, right, for their account, and the movie is Mulan. They had a huge success with Mulan as a cartoon, I think 25 years ago, and now they made a live action version of it, and it's a huge production. It's like probably one of the most talked Disney production, other than a Marvel movie, which they own as well. And because of COVID and because of the theaters being closed, they have decided not to wait, because some other productions are still waiting. But this is like going to be the litmus test, right, for such an action. And they are going to release it on their own streaming platform for a premium, something like $30. And people will be able to watch Mulan all over, I'm guessing, the US at this point. I didn't read into details if they're going to separate the distribution areas. I think they are active only in the US right now. So that's a huge leap of faith. And it's going to also be a huge blow to theaters and the way they operate today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the pandemic was a huge blow anyway. But now with this, it's like the final knife to kill this industry. Because up until now, there was sort of a clause in the distribution agreement with the theaters that the studios are not allowed to own a theater chain. And so, and this prevents the studios from having exclusivity with specific theater chains.
Mm-hmm.
And now, right, and part of that clause means if, let's say, Disney as a studio, right, if you show your movie in your theater, you're not allowed to exclusivity. That's one. And if you try that, then we're not going to show any of your movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're not going to see revenue streams from us anyway. And this is the first time, because of the pandemic, that the studios can allow themselves to actually test the waters and see, one, if it's viable, if it's something that will give them the profits that they're expecting to see from box offices. And I'm guessing this first iteration is actually going to be successful for them. The real question is how successful, right? Are they going to blow out the numbers that they were expecting from the first week in cinemas in regular times, right? Or is it going to be conservative?
How much is it?
About $30. And once you buy it, once you pay the fee, it's yours in the account as long as you're a subscriber, right?
So you have to be a subscriber and pay $30.
Yes.
Yeah, this.
But then again,
this will not be great.
I think you'll be surprised when you do the math, right? If you go two people to the cinema, right, it doesn't add in $30, and you see it only once. So it makes a lot of sense. This is you're paying for the right to see it first, right? To see it in the initial distribution. So this is the equivalent of going to the cinema,
to the premiere,
before it is available for VOD or streaming.
I get that, but I mean, I don't know about you. I'm not going to pay $30 to watch a movie on my couch.
But you wouldn't have bought the ticket in the cinema either. You're not.
That's not true. I would not this specific movie, but I mean,
I'm talking about this specific movie.
No, okay, but
it's very important.
But okay, but is it safe to assume that other movies would be a similar price? Right? Like let's just assume across the board.
I wouldn't know. Let's say this: if they another Avenger movie, for example, I'm guessing it'll be the same price.
Yeah.
But then again, a smaller production will probably be completely directly to streaming, and not that, right?
Now,
it really depends on the type of production.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'm not somebody that I don't go to the movies often. And obviously, Gal, you're right. If I go to the movies and I go, if I bring a friend to the movies, you're right. It'll cost $50. It'll probably cost $50 by the time you're said and done. But you're getting the movie theater experience. You're sitting in those big comfortable chairs. You got this THQ surround sound system. I'm not sure.
But Disney only sees half of that.
What?
Disney only sees half of that money.
I get
or even less. Half of the ticket, right? Just half of the ticket.
Half of the ticket, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, but my point is I'm not sure that $30 to sit on your couch at home with a built-in speaker system, which the movie's not going to be.
Well, maybe.
I think it is a problem.
Don't buy it. Yeah. Wait a year. It'll probably go to streaming or be much, much cheaper later. Right? This is the first distribution. This is Disney trying to reclaim the money that they would have gotten if they would do a premiere and a week-long marketing spiel and hype the environment. So they're dropping most of their marketing fees. They're relying on now. Remember, Disney Plus is still in its first year, and so most of its subscribers haven't even paid them. Right? Because there's a lot of deals that you get Disney Plus included with. And so this is their way of reclaiming it. And by doing that, also change the system completely. If this is successful, and I think the audience really want this to be successful, because this means, right, that they're especially in this pandemic situation, right? There's a backlog of produced material that is waiting to be released, not just by Disney, right? And Disney is now testing the water for everyone. And remember, Disney lost their biggest revenue maker, right? The parks are closed. Other than cinema right now and Disney Plus, they have nothing.
Okay, let's.
They don't have the cruise lines. They don't have nothing is working.
I mean that's fine, but I still believe that $30 is about $2 to $10 too expensive for watching a movie.
Okay, now that's.
I think $20
that's debatable.
is the price point.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
I'm guessing that'll change.
That's what I was going to ask, and Alan said, how much does it cost if that was in the theater? And it's a new movie. How much would a ticket be? Any idea?
Ticket,
$8 to $10.
A little bit, yeah, $12, something.
$12. That. So, and they get only half of it.
Well, I don't know what
in the theaters.
In the theaters, yeah. So
like 45%.
Yes. So I would think that they are being greedy here, because yes, I'm with Nick on this. $20.
Why? Because think about it. You're getting the movie not once.
I understand,
you're seeing
but that doesn't matter.
You get the rights to play the movie, and you're paying once, right? You're paying once, and you get.
But that's
how many people you can fit in your house to show it.
But there is one thing here: to show it. I mean, you see it once or 1,000 times doesn't make any difference to them, because they are just streaming it.
Cinema
and
does.
How many? And in the cinema it does. Now,
remember the audience here. The audience here are teenagers, right? Teenagers and below.
I understand. Let's
they will
not
go multiple times to the movie to see this movie.
Okay, so right? even if they went 2 or 3 times,
This is the type of production we're talking about. We're not talking about every Disney movie ever they're going to make.
Okay,
but the huge productions, right? It makes total sense.
Okay. All right.
I just think it's too. It's too expensive.
Let's see who's that online. Hello. Hello. Nothing. Never mind.
I don't know. $30 to me is a lot of money.
It is.
That's fine.
I just think
I wouldn't pay the $30 either. First of all, I'm not subscribed to Disney Plus, right?
Well, that's the other thing too. It's not just $30. It's Disney Plus $30.
Yeah.
How much is this?
How
much is Disney
Plus? This specific year you can probably get for free.
Okay, but if it does cost later on, I mean, what, $10?
$13 a month.
How much?
Yeah, it's $12.99 a month.
Okay. So you're talking about paying almost $50 for the movie with taxes and fees.
Well,
essentially.
You already have the subscription. Let's put this way. You're probably not doing the subscription for the movie, but you'll probably start a subscription because of the movie. That might be.
Did you see?
No, because they have Avenger, all of the Marvel cinema stuff, and that's in the pipeline, right? And if this works, those are next. That audience is a lot more zealous about going and seeing the movie even multiple times. So the price probably is right for them as well. So
what they should have done is for $30, you could have bought the movie, or if you were a Disney Plus subscriber, it was $20. That would have been a very smart. That would have been a very smart move on their part.
Did you see what Dirtbag put in the chat? It's not Disney Plus anymore. It's Disney Plus Plus.
Yeah. Again, I don't have a problem paying for content. Contrary to belief, I'll pay for content. I just $30 for me to sit on my IKEA couch, watch it on my crappy TV with my crappy soundbar just doesn't really. And again, that doesn't tickle my fancy.
Let's put it this way: there are people who will pay it gladly.
Oh, absolutely. And they should. If you're a huge fan, absolutely will. But the question is broad appeal. And I don't think, and Disney is very popular. So I'm not sure.
That's why it's a testing of the waters, right?
Yeah.
You're going to see if this is going to be successible or not.
We'll find out.
I doubt it's going to be a flop. The real question is it going to match their predictions? That's going to be interesting.
I mean, look, at this point, anything they get out of it is 100% more than what they're getting now. Because they can
delay it and decide to take it out when people start going to cinemas.
Well,
right?
And we don't know when.
They can do that.
Yeah.
They'll probably make them more money. That's the real question. Will it make more money this way or this way, right? And that's what so I think that's what they are trying to measure. They're taking a huge risk here, but also but I think it's a calculated risk, and they're gonna break the box office.
I don't think that they're taking a huge risk, because the people that wait and say no, like Nick, say I'm not going to pay it, he may go to the theater when they open the theater. So they're not taking a huge risk. The people that are not going to buy it and considering it, they're already fans, but they say, oh, no, that's too much. So we'll wait until it goes into theaters. And if anything...
I think the thing is, there's... Every person has some sort of content that they are willing to pay $30 to see, even if it's at home. Right? Because just buying the DVD costs what, 60, 40?
Yeah.
Right? So so there's definitely going to be people and content that match them. And I think this is just the first step. We have something here pretty universal. It's not R-rated, so it's not limited. Mm-hmm. And kids are a huge, right, expense driver. Spending driver. And so we have an opportunity here that we need to take advantage of. And not only that is they get to prove that their investment in Disney Plus, right, wasn't just some,
Eli is saying, how many times can you repeat your arguments? Yeah, I agree. We're
call in and talk about something else.
Yeah. But Nick, I'll tell you what you should do.
I'm sorry.
Nick, I'll tell you what you should do about this. You need to go today to some of the furniture stores and buy a big chair, big comfortable chair. You need to buy a perfect sound system for your TV and an 88-inch, and then everything will be fine. It'll be just like sitting in and you can even buy a popcorn machine that smells.
I mean, think about it.
It's
Best
nice.
Buy will probably start partnering with Disney, and the furniture and the soundbar will have Disney Plus certified.
Yeah. Now, talk about all this and downloading and streaming and all that. Listen to this. Imagine being able to download every single movie and TV show on Netflix in less than a second. Researchers at University College London have don't call your provider to get this. Have the ability to do that with a new world record they set for fastest internet. 178 terabits a second, or 178,000 gigabits per second. Lecturer and Royal Academy of Engineering Research Fellow Dr. Lydia Galdino and team collaborated with Xterra and KDDI research on the project. According to UCL's announcement, that speed is double the capacity of any system currently deployed in the world. Can you imagine?
We're going to need a bigger hard drive.
I mean, we do. Can you imagine that kind of speed? But then you're still going to only have 10 megabits up,
Well, I have more. I have Google Fiber. Bless their hearts.
Yeah.
Thankfully, not limited in that way.
Right. No, that was a joke about this.
I know.
And those of you that's still using it.
Wait. But what's the size of the connector?
No, I have no idea. Yeah, that's good. Ooh, let me bring it in.
Yeah, exactly.
Microsoft will end support for Internet Explorer 11 across its Microsoft 365 apps and services next year. In exactly a year, on August 17th, 2021, Internet Explorer 11 will no longer be supported for Microsoft's online services like Office 365, OneDrive, Outlook, and more. I didn't know it was supported now. I mean, it works, but are they actually actively
They're probably
supporting
issuing some
it?
security patches or something.
Nick, you deal with customers that use 365 and all that. I mean, it's still called IE11. They're going to end support.
Expire Internet Explorer 11.
Yeah,
but what does that have to do with 365?
Well, they said that it will no longer be supported for Microsoft online services like Office 365, OneDrive. I'm wondering if they mean that it'll stop working. I think they should have killed it a long time ago.
It'll just break over time.
So are they?
It'll show a disclaimer.
My question was, you work with customers that use 365 a lot. Are they using Microsoft, Internet Explorer, or are they using others?
They're using Internet Explorer for things, but they use Outlook, so that's not really a problem. But yeah, a whole bunch of and the reason they're still using Internet Explorer is because software vendors have not updated their software. Their software. This is a case in we deal with it in the financial field.
Mm-hmm.
Is probably the biggest that we deal with. We've got a couple of customers that use different financial apps, web apps that literally do not work outside of IE.
That's a shame.
Well, and it's a real shame because it causes big problems for the user because their default browser is set to IE so that things work correctly, but half the internet doesn't work in IE.
Yeah.
So For example, did you know you can't print the new version of IE, or not the new version of IE, in the most recent version of Windows? You can't print a PDF out of Internet Explorer. Doesn't work.
Really?
Yeah. And why should it work?
Yeah, I know.
Adobe's not supporting it, but you've got people now that have to use IE for their
general.
Try to need to go print a statement or something like that, and it doesn't work. And then they call us and say, "Oh, it can't print." Well, unfortunately, it's on the software vendor now. There ain't anything I can do.
Yeah.
So now we've had to set up PDF redirectors. I mean, it's an unmitigated disaster.
I mean, I really thought that they were going to do away with it long ago when
but Windows, they have done away with it. It's these shitty software vendors that don't care. IE has been unsupported. IE has gotten no updates outside of security patches in years.
That's what I was asking you. Yeah. And not only that,
you still have to use it.
Not only that, you have to know where to find it too.
And it's hidden.
It's hidden. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a disaster. There's going to be, obviously Windows 7 going end of life in January was a huge hurdle,
right?
But this one's going to hurt too.
This is even worse. Yeah. I have customers that use it all the time, and I say, start using it.
Yeah, and some of them can't.
Now, here is something else about Windows. A recent update to Windows 10 took away the ability for consumers to permanently disable Defender, the built-in antivirus software, no matter what the reason. However, Defender should voluntarily step aside if it detects the installation of a third-party antivirus program.
Oh, very nice.
Before the updates, if a user wanted to disable Defender on a permanent basis, they could edit a registry key called Disable Anti-Spyware. That is no longer the case. Disable Anti-Spyware is intended to be used by OEMs and IT pros to disable Microsoft Defender antivirus and deploy another antivirus product during deployment. It is a legacy setting that's no longer necessary, as Microsoft Defender antivirus automatically turns itself off when it detects another antivirus program. This setting is not intended for consumer devices, and we've decided to remove this register key, Microsoft explained in the support document. So I don't know that if you just install Avast on a computer that has Defender with Windows 10, if it will. Defender will step aside.
It will.
Okay, so that's not a problem that they took it out. What's the big deal?
Also, now you can't go and just turn it off completely if you don't have antivirus. That's what it sounds like.
So somebody will create an antivirus, a null antivirus software that you install. Windows thinks it's an antivirus, and it won't do anything. An open source. It's like this is the expected result of such an act.
So who likes Blackberries? I'm not talking about the fruit.
I've never used one. I mean, I knew people who used it, but
so after TCL announced plan to stop producing Blackberry phones later this year, it seems like the once popular Blackberry brand would finally be coming to an end. But now a new company has pledged to take up the Blackberry mantle with promises of releasing a new phone featuring a good old physical keyboard sometime next year. Okay, can we hear you now? Can you hear us? And you need to turn down your computer if you want to be able to talk on Skype.
Adnan, this is Gene.
Hey, Gene. Can you hear me?
Adnan, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, this is Gene. I didn't call on tonight.
Okay. Oh. Go ahead.
All right. Last week, on the chat, I asked Spence. I wanted to get another printer. I asked Spence, "What would you recommend?" And he recommended a brother printer. It was a Mono, and I was on it down that way, so I stopped at Briar Creek to go over to Best Buy to pick one up if I could. And that place is totally closed.
Oh, it's been closed for a year.
Car in the parking lot, Best Buy and Briar Creek is totally closed. So, not too far away is the Staples. So I went over to Staples and went in there, and they had a whole bunch of printers on display. And I said, "How many brother printers have you got?" And they said, "We only have 2 in stock." And that's it. So, guess where you think I could get one?
Did you?
One guess.
Did you?
Where do you think I found one? Amazon.
Yeah.
Go to Amazon. The stores don't have anything.
I know. I mean, you can try and go to Staples or go to Home Depot and see, or don't go. Call them.
Don't call them. Go on their website and look.
Oh, go to the website. Yeah. No, Nick is right. Go to the website and see if they have the same, because they all have the same equipment.
Yeah, but you can search for your individual store.
But what I'm saying is I happen to be in the area, so
Okay.
I thought I'd stop by.
Okay.
I drove into the Briar Creek Best Buy and to see that place totally closed down.
I'm
it
sorry.
Really blew my mind.
I'm sorry about this, Gene. We had to close it down.
Well, Best Buy there has been closed for over a year. It's not because of the pandemic. It was before.
Oh.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. Anyhow, I just thought I'd let you know.
Okay. Thanks, Gene.
Take care. Bye-bye.
So, in a press release last week, Onward Mobility announced that it had reached an agreement with both Blackberry and FIH Mobile Limited, subsidiary of Foxconn, to create a new 5G Blackberry Android phone with a physical keyboard. The device is slated to be available in both Europe and North America sometimes in the first half of 2021. That said, the new BlackBerry phone will have slightly different ambitions than the previous BlackBerry handsets produced by TCL, as Onward Mobility is planning to target its BlackBerry phone at businesses and enterprise professionals who want something that delivers both a tactile typing experience and an emphasis on privacy and security. BlackBerry is refusing to die.
Well, they've been doing Android for the past, 6-7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think they already retired. They had this very convoluted. They were the first system to sort of provide good exchange connectivity, right? To go next hand in hand with your Outlook setup. But that always required this very convoluted additional server setup for enterprises. And so, and even though they were an email connected device, they weren't a very good network connected device. So they weren't really designed for the web. They were designed for email. And so when they did the move to Android, they actually had an interesting, successful, at least in the review sphere. I don't know if on sales they were ever really successful, but they made very decent Android phones because of their physical keyboards. People still love the physical keyboard.
Yeah.
And so if you're not looking for a media device where you need, where you need the entire screen, and you're okay with losing about half of your screen or a third of it for a keyboard, then you can still find decent BlackBerry ones, and it seems like they're still doing it. but I don't think they've ever been successful in selling them, and that's a shame.
They were in the beginning of BlackBerry. I mean, BlackBerry was the
no,
biggest.
I'm talking about the Android incarnation
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, at the beginning they were. I mean, nobody wanted. They overshadowed Nokia over here in the States, I think, right?
They were the thing to get.
Yeah. They were the Apple, right? Of that era. Yeah.
And talking about Apple on last Monday told retail and customer support employees that the company is expanding the time period when customers can subscribe to its AppleCare Plus service. Consumers currently have a chance to sign up to the warranty and support program within 60 days of buying an Apple product. So if you buy something from Apple, you can come 45 days later and say, I want to buy AppleCare. This subscription window is increasing to up to a year now in the US and Canada. This gives customers another opportunity to protect their device and have access to all the AppleCare Plus benefits. The company told employees the offer is available to customers who pay for AppleCare Plus in full versus monthly payments, or for those that subscribe via installments on the Apple Card credit card.
I wonder, did they say that the devices will require inspection?
They did not mention.
Was that mentioned?
They did not mention.
Because delaying a year to buy AppleCare, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you have a year anyway, right?
No, you have a year of warranty, but AppleCare also includes breaking and stuff like that, right? So not just defects. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure that if you broke your phone and then you go and
that's
you
the
try
thing.
to
If
subscribe,
9 months pass and you broke your phone and you just phone in and you buy AppleCare, and I don't know, 2 weeks later you bring in the phone, right?
Yeah,
so that's why I'm asking. Does it require inspection?
They did not mention any of that. That's a good point, though. That's a good point. Yeah. Did Nick? You had the iPhone, right?
Yeah.
I remember when you bought it. So did you ever use AppleCare?
No, I've never. No, I don't do AppleCare. Not there's self-insurance. That's my approach.
Oh, self-insurance.
Well, it's the truth. I mean, the phones are not that expensive, right? The phone wasn't $10,000. So,
I wonder how much.
I mean, if you're it's $100 or like $120 a year.
Okay.
And if you're somebody that is prone to breaking a phone, I guess it's a good deal. But I mean, I've had an iPhone since I was in middle school, and I've never broken the only phone screen I ever broke was when my father knocked it out of my hand and it shattered.
Yeah.
And that was an Android. But I've never broken a phone. I've dropped it plenty of times. I guess I've just been lucky. I don't know.
Yeah. Gaming. Microsoft released Flight Simulator 2020. But
I heard about that.
Many people who bought it online are having problems downloading it, installing it, or simply running the new game. Some users, they can't run it even. Some users simply didn't get to download the game, even if they tried several times to do so. When the download was finally completed, they received an error while trying to install it. Even if some users also got through the installation, they faced another problem. The game freezes at the starting screen. Microsoft didn't present a solution yet, but WindowsReport.com wrote first about these problems and offered some workarounds and possible solutions. So if you bought it and you're having a problem, you can go to WindowsReport.com and read and see what the solutions are. But this is that's a disgrace. I mean, people were waiting and waiting and waiting. Nothing.
No, it's not better than the game Dead Matter that's supposed to come out on Friday. Their website's been providing a 502 bad gateway error since.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No, par for the course. And we're learning. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it works now.
No, it doesn't.
PlayDeadMatter.com. I'm there.
Yeah. Go to QIsoftware.ca, which is their developer site. The site where you get QIsoftware.ca.
Cloudflare DDoS protection. Yeah.
Oh.
But PlayDeadMatter.com works.
Well, that's great, but you don't get your key from the Play Dead Matter site. So
you can download
but
it,
it's not released yet.
It is. It came out. It came out on
Friday.
Friday.
It already came out. Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. It's supposed to come out on Friday.
And some news about Oculus, which I had the honor of trying when Gal was here. Oculus will soon require all of its virtual reality headsets users to sign up with a Facebook account.
Yeah, I've been through that ordeal. I have a few tips.
So he said the Facebook-owned company says it will start removing support for separate Oculus accounts in October, although users can maintain an existing account until January 1st. Oh, until January 1st, 2023. 2023. So where's the news?
You can preserve your existing one until 2023, but you won't be able to create one in a few months.
Right. All users can maintain a distinct VR profile with a separate friends list. So, I don't know. Is that bad news? I have no idea. I mean,
it's bad news. It's bad. So, let me try to explain the level of bad news. This is the same bad news that Google did with YouTube and Google Plus. It deters a huge amount of people, those who do not want to be connected to Facebook. Now, the problem with Facebook is that the Facebook end user license claims that you must be a real person to register an account.
Right.
So theoretically, right, and also there's some clause about not opening multiple accounts. So I'm just talking about the end user license, not the practice that people have, right? And I can tell you that just by having these rules in place, right, they are saying you cannot use our system anonymously.
Okay.
Right, by our rules. And that's a bad stance to start with. And so I had the same dilemma with the headset that you tested.
Yeah.
And so some of the features are not working if you don't have a Facebook account. And I didn't want to connect it. I mean, my old Facebook account, it's still there, but I'm not using it. It's very dormant. But I don't want to connect anything new to it. Right? I'm just looking at how to shut it down, and I haven't done it because I haven't found, there is a way of downloading everything, but I haven't found a way of of maintaining that data in a comfortable way, so it's still up. And so I don't want to connect anything new to it. And I thought, okay, so I'll open a new account. Not that easy. First of all, from a computer, if you try to open a new account and you're not connecting it to a phone number, they're going to say, at least I got a prompt and saying something went wrong, or we can't, your account has been disabled automatically because it violates blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm.
And you do not get a real explanation of why. It just fails. I ended up using opening a fake Google account, an additional Google account from a phone, opening a new Facebook account, connecting to that Google account, to the Gmail account, right? And only then I was able to create a new Facebook account. And that account I connected to the headset. And that was annoying. And I'm guessing that if this is one action that is going to send people to their competitors. People have no problem of creating a Steam account to use their headset, right? Because their gaming world is already connected to Steam, and so that makes sense. So people will go to Valve and buy their headsets, right? They'll prefer that. And Oculus is trying to push their software ecosystem, and Facebook is trying to push itself into it, right? And I'm thinking it's going to hurt them at least in the short term. I don't know how they're going to deal with it in the long term. I don't think it has any effect in the long term. But in the short term, it's going to hurt them, because I know for sure that any reviewer over on the internet, YouTube, Twitch, and all of those that have this in mind, and Nick, you tell me here if my sentiments are wrong. They are going to say, just because of that, don't buy it.
Yes, you will have some of that. I'm somebody that in the past and still don't complain about, like, there's a big debate about launchers, right? Every game studio now has its own launcher. You have to make an account. There's different friend lists. A lot of people complain about that. I never have. What I do not like doing is what you just described, Gal, linking a video game thing to a Facebook or Twitter. That to me is retarded. That makes absolutely no sense. I get that they own it, but I think that they seem to have a lack of understanding of the community that they're trying to
serve.
Let me ask you this. You installed WhatsApp, right?
Serve. Yeah.
What if they now decide, all WhatsApp account have to be linked to a Facebook account? What will happen to WhatsApp?
It would go away, because I'm not going to.
It'll disappear.
The
right?
whole point is that you don't. I mean, and again, I don't have a problem if I created a. Let's say I was looking for a job, right? And you use one of those job sites,
whichever,
ZipRecruiter, Indeed, one of those sites, right? It asks you to log into your LinkedIn. Okay, I'm applying for a job as Nick, the person. Yeah. Okay, fine.
But not only that, you manage LinkedIn for your job persona.
True. Let's say I don't, though. But in the case of me playing a video game online, I'm not always Nick, and I don't always want to be Nick.
Right.
So linking it to a Facebook account is stupid. It just doesn't make any sense. It's a disconnection. I get why Facebook's doing it, but it's just a disconnection. Huge disconnection on Facebook's part.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Melvin in the chat has some good point, and Alan saying, I will not buy it over something like this. So there was another make. It scrolls over ATH or something like that.
HTC Vive.
HTC.
Yeah. I don't think people are not going to buy it because of this, but I do think there will be some sort of change, because this just is not a good idea.
Yeah. And
it's a shame, because they definitely have the better platform hardware wise right now. Yeah. And I'm saying it, this is a shame. This is like ruining it.
Melvin also
ruining the experience.
Melvin is saying something that makes a lot of sense here. Says it makes sense to link and all that. It
to
makes
Facebook,
sense.
Yes.
Wait.
To the consumer.
Wait. It makes sense when they are tracking and selling your interests and habits. Then it makes sense.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melvin's on the ball here.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is exactly why we're against it. This is exactly why we don't like it. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's not the fact that they want you to have a better experience in your game or in your experience. It's that they want more information that they can monetize.
There's going to probably be one good thing out of it. It's going to be a failure, and so Facebook will sell out this failing outfit. They'll split out of it. Somebody else will buy it and make it better. But it's going to take 10 years.
Oculus great again. It's going to be incredible. The White House is going to buy it. It's going to be a great event.
Okay. All right. Okay. Fine.
Well, and let's be fair though. Facebook has tried their rendezvous with gaming multiple times, and it's been a failure. So they're trying again. Facebook gaming was an absolute flop.
Huh? Are you following, Nick? Are you following anything from the closing of Mixer and going on Facebook, and if that thing is actually doing what it's supposed to do?
I mean, Mixer's been closed since July. It's been closed about a month now.
Do you hear anybody on Twitch that's talking about?
Yeah, a bunch of people went back to Twitch.
Okay.
I'm sure some smaller people went to Facebook because they were offering Microsoft and Facebook came to an agreement to automatically partner those people and some revenue deals. So I'm sure some people went there, but one of the biggest streamers, Dr. Disrespect, he was kind of different, but he went to YouTube after being banned from Twitch, and his inaugural stream, which was a week or two ago, had 560,000 concurrent viewers. So over 500,000 active viewers at like 4:00 in the afternoon Eastern. So yeah, there's a lot of online video stuff going on.
Okay. Well. Yeah, and I don't see any new CDNs like that.
It's too expensive. The one that's doing really good right now is DLive.
Yeah, but the problem, I mean, we are on DLive also, and you are on DLive, but DLive cannot be embedded.
No, it can't be. But to be fair, people don't really embed.
Well, I want to embed. I mean,
I understand, but I don't believe you're the majority.
And there's no information anywhere. I try every now and then to Google on it, how to embed it, and I cannot find.
The cool thing about DLive is, well, it's not the cool thing. It's kind of it's very much like BitChute, and it's kind of the outcasts of Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, they run over to DLive. They have a far less stringent policy on content. You can use certain words or phrases on their platform and not get banned for it. But you've pretty much got Twitch, YouTube, and
Facebook.
DLive.
Facebook.
Yeah, I mean, Facebook's not. I mean, I guess they have it, but nobody uses it.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to embed.
Nobody's exclusive on Facebook. I would agree.
Oh no, they are. Yeah. I mean, there are people exclusive on Facebook, but like, where do you go? Like, if log into Facebook right now and find somebody streaming. Where the hell? I wouldn't even know where to point you.
Computer.
I don't know how to get to Facebook. I mean, I guess I do a Google search, but
computers took in there.
Yeah, but you got to find your page.
You need to know the channel name. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No directory.
Yep. All right. Well, it's that time of day again. Anything else? Really? Anything else we want to mention? Oh, I'm going to get flagged.
Oh, I'm sure.
All right. Well, then let's end it. Thanks, Nick. Thanks, Gal. And thanks, Spence. And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna, Dina, Arlette. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember, practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Tonight at 7, Nick is doing his Against the Norm show at atnshow.com. And if you happen to be in Wilmington, North Carolina, you can also listen to it on 106.7, The Big Talker. See you next week, everybody. Bye.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.